Hello student, myself Unjan Mittal Roy in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in GEMTech Greater Noida. This is my another video on the subject Analog Electronics 1. In the previous videos we have covered the basics of electronics, semiconductor electronics and review of diode characteristic. After that we have to go to the next topics, which is the diode circuits. This all we have covered in the previous lectures. Insulator, semiconductor, conductor, their energy band diagrams. Then we have covered the type of semiconductors, intrinsic, extrinsic, p-type, n-type, p-n junction formation, the biasings, forward bias and reverse bias. Now this is the next topic which we have to cover today. This is VI characteristics of PN junction diode. So when the PN junction is in forward bias, when the positive supply is applied to its anode, uh, it works in forward bias. In that case, the characteristic is a forward bias characteristic. In that characteristic, we have studied that initially at the PN junction, a depletion layer is formed, and to overcome that depletion layer, a certain potential is required, which is of 0.3 volt if a material is germanium and 0.7 volt if the material is silicon. So in both the cases, to overcome this potential barrier region, this amount of voltages is required. Until these voltages are applied, a very small negligible amount of current flows, and in this region this is called the device remains almost off. And at this particular voltage, when zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.7 volt supply is applied to a PN junction, the device conducts heavily or almost linearly, following Ohm's law. It is because the majority of the charges cross the junction easily by overcoming the potential barrier formed by the depletion layer. So, this voltage at which the barrier is overcome and the conduction takes place, this voltage is called knee voltage or cut-in voltage. And this region where the amount of current is almost zero is called cutoff region. After this region, the current increases linearly, and following Ohm's law, this is called ohmic region. And in this ohmic region, the magnitude of current is of the order of milliampere. This is the main current or forward current of a PN junction diode in forward bias when the positive voltage is applied to its anode. Now, when we come to the reverse bias characteristic, when negative voltage is applied to the PN junction, we know that the depletion width was already formed, which used to oppose the charges crossing across the junction. Now, with the application of reverse bias, the negative voltage, this depletion region increases further. The width of the depletion region increases, and it opposes the further movement of majority charges across the junction. Resultant of that is no flow or negligible amount of flow of current. In ideal case, there is no current in reverse direction. But practically, if the material is germanium, this is up to 50 milliampere, and in case of silicon, it is 20 milliampere. This is quite a small value of current. This is the current which flows in reverse bias. Now, at a particular reverse voltage, which is called breakdown voltage, the PN junction works in breakdown region, and it is because the charges within the depletion layer now moves cross each other, resulting into a sudden flow of current. This is called junction breakdown. And there are two types of junction breakdowns we will discuss in detail. One is called Zener breakdown, the other is called avalanche breakdown. In case of Zener breakdown, the material is heavily doped and the charges across the PN junction, charges across the depletion layer cross each other and a heavy flow of current is obtained. This is the PN junction when no voltage is applied, zero biased PN junction. In case of reverse biased PN junction, this is the polarity of a reverse biased PN junction. Positive terminal P-type region is connected to negative terminal of the battery and N-type region is connected to positive terminal of the battery. And the switch, the diode behaves as a switch. Ideally, no current flows through the switch and it behaves as a open circuit. In case of reverse characteristic of PN junction, this is the reverse bias VI characteristic. It is of the below 10 nanoampere in both cases, and the reverse breakdown current is up to 1 milliampere. Maximum value of breakdown current is up to 1 milliampere. After the review of VI characteristics, this is the forward bias characteristic shown separately, and earlier I have shown you the reverse bias characteristic. Now it is showing how the depletion layer increases or decreases. This we have covered in our previous videos, previous lectures. This is the ideal characteristic of PN junction. Ideally, when there is no, there is maximum current in forward bias and the resistance is zero. There is no slope. Ideally, the resistance is zero in case of a forward bias. That means V upon I, R equal to V upon I. So if R is 0, V upon I is 0, that means at 0 voltage the current is maximum. In case of a reverse bias, the resistance is infinity. It shows that at very high voltage or infinite voltage the current is 0. So this is the ideal VI characteristic of PN junction, which is shown by the red lines in the graph. And this is the ideal diode PN junction symbol, and in ideal case in forward bias case the switch is behaving as a short circuit. Simply wires are connected, it is shown by a short circuit, and in reverse bias it is shown as the open circuit. This is the ideal condition, ideal scenario. But practically, if we consider a practical diode, ideal condition does not exist. It is just a mathematical concept, it is just a theory. Whereas practically what we see that 0.7 volt the current flows. So the ideal diode is shown like this, where always there is a battery or bias connected in this, in its symbol, which is having a value of 0.7 volt. So for forward bias, it is a short circuit wire with the voltage of only 0.7 volt. But in case of reverse bias, it is an open circuit switch with the battery of 0.7 volt. So after these review of diode, we come next to the review of BJT, which is in our syllabus, the review of BJT. BJT stands for bipolar junction transistor, and we normally call it transistor. So bipolar junction transistor, why is it called bipolar? Because both electrons and holes are the majority charge carriers and they participate in the conduction of this device. And it is a three-terminal device. Bipolar junction. Junction means it has got two junction and three layers. and it is called as transistor. Why the name is transistor? Because it offers the transfer of the resistance. Transfer of resistance from input terminal to output terminal. As we move into the device, its resistance changes from emitter region to collector region. If we go to its constructional detail, we will come to know that how the resistance varies from emitter to collector. So in all, this device offers transfer of resistance, or simply because of that the current flows inside the device. It is mainly made up of semiconductor, and therefore it is widely used in semiconductor devices and electronics engineering as a switch, as an amplifier, as an oscillator, as a multivibrator. So it has got so many applications. So before we go to them, a wide application is in computers, satellites, and modern communication systems. So we have to go to its constructional details. So it has got three terminals named as emitter, base, collector. Uh, Emitter base collector. Emitter is the leftmost terminal through which the charges are emitted inside the device. Collector is the rightmost terminal at which the charges are collected, and base is a middle region or layer which provides transition path from collector to emitter. So it provides as a base of transition of charge carriers. Uh, okay, then it has got, after the three layers, it works in three regions. One is active region, then saturation region, and then cutoff region. In active region, the transistor operates as an amplifier. It amplifies the small signal into a relatively large signal. In saturation region, it is fully on and operates as a switch, where the switch is either on or off. So in saturation region, it behaves as a switch. And in cutoff region, the transistor is fully off. So it behaves as a switch when the switch is off, open circuited. And in saturation region, the switch is on, short circuited or saturated. Now these are the two diode analogy or transistor diodes back to back connected. The transistor is also called as a three-layer transistor, is also indicated as two diodes connected back to back. So the transistors are of two types, PNP and NPN. In case of a PNP transistor, two diodes are connected back to back in such a way that the emitter terminal is anode of one diode, collector terminal is anode of another diode, and base terminal is the cathode of both the diodes. Whereas in case of NPN transistor, the anode of both the transistor is base terminal, whereas cathode of first diode is emitter terminal, and the cathode of other diode is the collector terminal, as you can see in this diagram. Then comes is the actual symbolic representation of PNP and NPN transistor. To understand this, we have to consider the fact that we ideally assume that the current flows always from positive to negative, from holes to electrons in the direction of holes, or opposite to the direction of electrons. So if we consider the symbol of PNP transistor, what we see that P to N, the emitter current will flow from P to N, that means from emitter to base. So therefore there is an arrow which is going inside from emitter to base. Whereas in case of an NPN transistor, if we go in conventional way that the current flows from positive to negative, from holes to electrons, so the direction will be from base to emitter. So the direction is from base to emitter. It is going outward. So this is the symbolic representation of PNP and NPN transistor. So in ideal way, we use the symbols as these two symbols. The transistor is a three-terminal device: base, emitter, collector. And for PNP and NPN, they have their uh, specific directions of currents. The base current flows outside the base terminal, emitter current flows inside the emitter terminal, and collector current flows outside the collector terminal in case of a PNP transistor. Whereas in case of NPN transistor, the base current flows inside, emitter current flows outside, and collector current flows inside. So these are the conventional directions of PNP and NPN currents. Now, a transistor is a three-terminal device, but we use it as an amplifier or as an oscillator, as a multivibrator. In so many applications, it is used as a two-port device. And to make it a two-port device, we have to make one of the terminals common or grounded between input and output. So based on that, it has got three common configurations. These common configurations we will study in our next video. So for this, thank you so much.